All right, welcome in. It's another edition of the RSL Show. Alex, Josh, Carson joining you guys, bringing you the latest and the greatest with Real Salt Lake. One episode this week on a double match week. Real Salt Lake played over the weekend against FC Dallas, and they also played last night against the Portland Timbers. So let's start off there, Josh. The 1-1 draw against FC Dallas. It only took them 12 games, but Real Salt Lake finally get a draw.
Hey, man, we got some points, right?
That's all you could ask for.
We got some points. We are clearly comfortable playing with 10 men. I don't want to get into the referee discussion. I really don't. It's tiresome.
Yeah.
But an unfortunate but fortunate side effect of referee decisions this season is we are comfortable playing at 10 men. And at times, kind of a hot take, but at times we almost look better with 10 men.
That is a hot take.
Yeah, I guess Josh is somewhat right. I mean, I feel like whenever we go down to 10 men, it like wakes us up in a way. We're like, oh, maybe we actually need to try now. Like we are down a man.
And then, you know what? Like I'm gonna hone in on the try because I still firmly believe that the bulk of this team is giving it their all, right?
Yeah. It's
just not clicking. It's not clicking at all 11 spots around the field. It's not. But you look at our back line, right? They're facing all sorts of adversity all over the place. They're managing, and I think they're doing a pretty good job, especially against Portland. We'll get into that. The midfield four, right? Emeka, Ojeda, absolute monsters. You could argue, if our record reflected it, you could argue they're the best midfield pair in the league.
I would agree. I mean, we talked about it a lot last year. We said it a lot last year.
They complement each other so well. Their work rate's incredible, right? Gozo's an absolute delight, right? Seeing him go from fringe guy, young guy, to taking that spot from Dominic and embracing it and going for it, awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. Right? Luna is Luna. No words need to be said. Right? But it's not culminating into goals. And that's our issue. Right? It sucks. And our other issue is I still think we're somewhat self-destructive. We've gotten some silly red cards, man. A second yellow for time wasting, a second yellow for simulation. That's really hard to swallow as a fan. And I know we're not supposed to look at this as fans, but at the end of the day, as someone watching and consuming the product, it's hard to swallow. Right? So at least we got a point, right? We got 2 points out of the last 2 matches. Better than none. Away from home for Dallas. That's always a bonus. So decent game, in my opinion.
It seems like the common theme for the last 2 games was that from the players and from the coaching staff. It seems like they're pleased with the effort, and I have to agree. There's a lot of individuals who are out there who you can clearly see are giving it their all.
They would die for the shield on their chest.
There you go.
Not everyone, right? And no one ever will. You never have a whole team doing that. But there is a vast majority of these guys that give it their all every match.
But on the other hand, the effort isn't going to win you games. It's goals.
Right. Or being stout defensively, which we finally saw against Portland.
Yes.
In a very unexpected fashion.
Truly unexpected, considering the backline that was put out there. Real quick though, before we move to Portland, just a couple thoughts on this FC Dallas game. One, Anderson Julio scoring, loved it.
I loved. If anyone was going to score against us, I'm glad it's him. I love that he didn't celebrate.
Yes,
right. We don't have to put him in the blacklist with Chicho.
What a class man! I miss him here, honestly.
I don't think Julio has ever won that will be booed when he comes here.
No.
Ever.
No.
And if he is, I'm going to ask those fans questions, right? Serious questions.
Yeah. Which is interesting because, I mean, like, he wasn't, a top goal scorer. He wasn't, the most exciting player. It's just whenever he came on, he gave you 110%.
And he brought
And
you big goals.
he brought
did
some
bring
big
you
goals. He brought some big goals off the sub. He won the love of the fans by being that super sub, and by honestly just being a nice dude.
Yeah, a genuine guy.
He's a nice dude.
There's nothing negative you could say about him whatsoever.
Absolutely.
I miss him. Yep. I miss him. I'm really sad that us, losing Julio and the whole Elias Manuel situation transpired, because in hindsight, right, we can pick up Sanjunqua a different way.
Yeah. Carson, thoughts on this FC Dallas game?
I think, if anything, I took away from that game is I'm just liking what I'm seeing from Xavier Gozo. And as Josh kind of like pointed out, it's like there's a handful of guys on the field you can tell who will die for the badge. And I feel like one of them is Xavier Gozo. He has everything to prove on the field, and that guy does not stop running. He's always dropping back. He's pressing. Like I saw a stat where he, like, every week he started, he's been like one of the top players in like winning the ball back.
And distance covered.
Yeah, and distance covered. He's like, he just gets back and forth so quick. He attacks good. He defends good. It seems like we'll get to this in the Portland game, but he was bugging the frick out of the Portland defense.
Oh yeah,
to the point where they had to start like shoving them to the ground to like kind of get them. But that's Gozo, and then the other thing is just the Willie Agata, obviously the red card. And, it's getting really tiring to talk about the referees, like Josh said. And it just feels like every week there's something wrong with the referee. Yeah.
Can't say that about Portland, though.
Nope. I miss Anderson Julio, too. I wish we would have never gotten rid of him.
We all do, man. We all do. 1-1 Real Salt Lake. And I guess, major credit and major, kudos to Diego Luna. He's up to 7 goals now?
He's the top scorer.
Top goal scorer. No one else has more than 1 goal for Real Salt Lake yet on this season, but of course Diego Luna. And without Luna and Cabral, I wonder where this season would be for RSL.
Realistically, we would be sitting comfortably next to the LA Galaxy.
Yeah.
Let's be completely honest with ourselves. And that goal from Luna, dude, bro, pure filth.
He's a baller.
Without question, I think he's going to the Gold Cup roster, man.
If he doesn't, bro, Pochettino is crazy.
Yeah.
He's probably going to go to the World Cup as well.
You better.
If he stays fit, consistent, he's going there.
It's going to be really hard to make it through the summer without his contributions. But
at least we have Gozo really, really picking up some steam, right?
He's stepping up, man.
Well, we might only lose Luna to the Gold Cup. We probably might lose Emeka as well.
I could see Emeka going too.
Yeah. It's going to be a tough summer.
It's going to be a congested summer as well.
Yeah.
A very congested summer.
Let's take a look around the rest of the league, huh? Take a look at what's going on around Major League Soccer before we really dive into this Portland game. Sitting at the top of the table, at the top of the Western Conference, it's still Vancouver. Love that for them. Now in second place, San Diego. They're shooting up the table. In third, Minnesota. Falling down. They're now in third. In fourth, the Portland Timbers. Fifth, LAFC. 6, Seattle Sounders. 7, San Jose. 8, Austin FC. 9, Colorado, who is tumbling down the table.
Oh, yeah, their form is poor.
Yeah.
Right. I really hope we can capitalize on that this weekend.
10, FC Dallas. 11, Real Salt Lake. 12, the Houston Dynamo. 13, Sporting Kansas City. 14, St. Louis City. And sitting in dead last, the LA Galaxy. Results from the weekend: a 2-1 win for Atlanta United, a 2-1 win for Chicago over Atlanta United. 40 mil. What does it got you?
This plays perfectly into RSL's kind of transfer. What's the word I'm looking for here?
Transfer approach, transfer policy.
Yeah, policy approach that works, right? you'll see this with any team, and I'm not saying RSL shouldn't spend money, but throwing money at players doesn't always work, right? Miami's struggling right now.
And it also makes a difference when you throw $22 million at Lataloth when your defense is atrocious. Last year, it wasn't an attack problem, I would say, for Atlanta. It's been a defensive problem.
Right.
And a midfield problem. You have a forward who's really, really great, who's going to get you a lot of goals. You have Miguel Miron, who's still trying to, really come back and cement himself. But when you have two high caliber players like this, but nobody feeding them, that's what you get. I think that's why Atlanta's the way Atlanta is right now.
Yeah. It makes more sense to spread the money around the entire starting 11.
There you go.
It really does.
Minnesota 4-1 over Inter Miami. We'll get into Miami here in a second. But Toronto with a 2-0 win over DC United. Cincinnati 2-1 over Austin FC. Montreal 1-0 over New York City FC. How about them Red Bulls? 7-0 over the LA Galaxy. That's a bone bruising, bone crushing loss, man.
Yeah, that doesn't feel good.
Oh,
yeah,
a whole touchdown against the Galaxy. Orlando 3-3 over New England. Philadelphia with a 2-2 draw against Columbus. Late equalizer for Columbus in that one. 1-1 Rouse Lake FC Dallas. Seattle with a 3-1 win over the Houston Dynamo. 2-1 Nashville over Charlotte. 2-1 San Diego over St. Louis. 2-0 San Jose over Colorado. And a 1-0 win for the Portland Timbers over SKC. 2-2 draw between Vancouver and LAFC. Now, let's focus on the midweek. Real Salt Lake, Portland.
This was a weird one, man.
How do I put this nicely? It's got to be one of the most boring games of soccer I've seen in my life.
Mostly the first half.
Yeah.
It was two teams that I don't think anyone really wanted to go for it in the first half. Right? The press wasn't there on either side. It was just boring. That's the way to put it. It was boring.
I think it's, those weekday games, sometimes they can suck. And I think worst case scenario, a weekday game, 7:30 p.m., you got to work the next morning and the game ends up being just super dead and boring and there's nothing exciting about it going on.
It's absolutely not one to bring a first-time, participant to. If you're trying to talk someone into getting into soccer, that's not the game to bring them to.
And it was cold, so that to top it off as well.
I did know a few people who were first-time visitors to America First Field last night and first-time soccer, viewers last night. And, yeah, it did not leave a good impression on them.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad. You can never predict, right? You can never predict when these games that are just kind of slogs, right?
Yeah.
You can never predict when they're going to happen. But, again, let's talk about the starting lineup because I don't know that it really inspired confidence in fans leading up to it either.
Starting lineup, Rafa Cabral in goal, as expected. Noel Caliscan at the right back position. Bodie Hidalgo at center back. Sam Junka at the center back position, and Alex Catranis at the left back position. In the midfield, Emeka Anelli with Brian Ojeda. Up top, you have Diego Luna pulling the strings. Diogo on the left, Gozo on the right, and Ari Pule starting up top. A lot of these decisions make sense due to the fact that you're dealing with injuries and suspensions.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other options, right? It would have been nice to see Zach Farnsworth get a run. I get it, right? To an extent, I wish we would have seen him. But if you're Portland and you're looking at this starting 11, you got to be licking your chops a bit. You got to be. You got a midfielder playing right back. You have a right back playing center back. And you have your competing third, fourth choice center back starting. Like that's not ideal for any team.
And I think that's probably the thing I found most interesting about about the Portland game is that Portland really didn't do anything to take advantage of it.
They didn't.
There was two teams just sitting back.
It was very
weird.
It
was so weird. Because Portland, I mean, it is a midweek game, but they're still a pretty decent attacking side. They're still a pretty good attacking side.
Even when rotated. And they were rotated.
They were rotated. You have probably your one of your best playmakers and creators on the bench. He did coming into this game in Rodriguez, but still, like, there was multiple times, Josh, we were sitting there watching the game. There was multiple times where they were, whether it was Rouse Lake, whether it was Portland, they were just sitting there waiting for the opponent to attack, and they were just kind of passing it behind the back, and nobody really did anything.
Yeah, no, and honestly, Portland had a lot of errant passes as well.
Yeah.
How many times did Portland play the ball too far over the top or kick it out of the bounds? It was quite consistent, actually. It was a very weird game.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was a weird night. The stadium was quiet. Personally, I think both of us, terrible week coming into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like this weird feeling, this weird culmination. It is what it is.
This weird culmination that ended in a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, and like I said, if you're a first time fan, not the game you want to go to, and I mean, even if you look at social media, fans are like, I wish that was away so I could just be home. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
There's no way around it.
Well, and that's one of the things I brought up to you too before the game even started too. I was like, if we have to do midweeks, let them be away.
Yeah, please.
Something about a home midweek game just doesn't sit right. And we got one, and again, it just ended up being a weird game.
I like midweek games like midsummer when it's hot and
sure.
It's around holidays and there's fireworks and there's just a little more electricity in the air. But just coming into this one, man, I don't know if it's the way the season's gone. It's still cold for some reason. It just the vibes weren't there for anybody.
Yeah, even like leading up to the game, I was just kind of like, I don't know about this one. Like it was raining all day and it was cold, and I'm just like, man, it's supposed to it's almost summer. I need those warm games, and you show up, sit in the cold, 0-0 draw. Couldn't get worse than that. It could get worse than that. It could have snowed, could have hailed, but
could have lost.
Yeah, could have lost.
We could have gotten LA Galaxy, bro.
Yeah, could have gone Galaxy. Performance-wise, though, for Rouse Lake, I do got to give him credit.
While he performed, bro.
Yes. While looking at this starting lineup, you see Caliscan starting at right back. You see Hidalgo and Junca at your center backs, and of course Catranis is going to be Catranis. But looking at that starting lineup, it doesn't really inspire confidence. But then I remember back to last season when Rouse Lake went to Chicago and played Bodie and Brian Oviedo at center back. You had your two wing backs starting at center back in that game too. Similarly, we see the same thing here in against Portland, and they stepped up just like they did in Chicago. Held the clean sheet in Chicago. A year later, here we are talking about a Portland game where they're able to step up and hold the clean sheet. And I think a lot of that has to go to Caliscan.
Yeah, he was surprisingly good.
The way that Anthony and who else was on that wing? DaCosta attacked Caliscan. He held his own, man, and I got to give him credit.
What I like about Caliscan is he's not flashy in any way, right? He's a very workman, put the effort in, get the job done kind of player.
Yeah.
And you need those guys.
I love that you bring that up because that was his exact words in the post-game press conference.
I will say right now, I was in bed and did not listen to it because I had some meetings this morning and I needed some sleep.
He got in front of the microphone and he literally said, look, I know I'm not the biggest. I was never the biggest. I was never the fastest. I was never the strongest. And he kind of listed off all this, this list of look, I know I'm not that great. So I have to make up for it with my IQ and my knowledge of the game. And he talked about basically studying Anthony and studying the way that he plays heading into this game to know exactly what Anthony was going to do to stop him. Because he knew he wasn't going to beat him with speed. He knew he wasn't going to beat him with strength, and I thought that was super freaking cool, man.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. Like that to me, that's a true professional, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Right. And I know at the beginning of the year I wasn't very stoked that he may still be on the roster, right? But he's one of those guys, again, time and time again, proves us wrong.
Yeah.
And, if you've been listening for a long time, I will always fully admit it when someone proves me wrong. And right now, Noel Calscan, just like Philip Quinton did, he's proved me wrong. And I absolutely love that. I love being wrong because it means we're doing well, right?
Noel Calscan has I feel like he has the RSL like type player written all over him, and Pablo Mastroeni type of player, and does what he has to do to afford to live, and his living is soccer, and he puts in the work. He's watching film, he's doing these things to study his opponents so he can get the better of him. Like that's like a lot of that's like stuff like that is like not really heard of a lot of the time. Like you don't hear guys going out of their way like saying, I studied this guy. I've been studying the position of right back, a midfielder studying right back, and then how to defend a certain winger. Like that's true baller stuff right there. And I love that. And I just became more of a Calscan fan.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love to hear it. And honestly, he reminds me, not maybe necessarily in the way that he plays, but I guess in just the attitude that he approaches the game. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Jasper.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of Loffelson, man.
They're a very similar player.
Yeah.
Both
Very
German.
similar.
Very similar in just a college kid who got an opportunity and is now running with it. Very much stepping up to the plate and making the opportunity his.
You know who else absolutely stepped up to the plate, and I will continue to sing his praises because he is my new favorite player on this team?
Does he happen to be a Utah native?
No.
Oh.
Native of Brazil. Gozo was creeping up quickly, but Rafa Cabral, my friend, I love nothing more than an incredible goalkeeper. And I'll tell you what, man, Cabral is so good. It's unbelievably how it's unbelievably how did it again. It's unbelievable how good he has been for Real Salt Lake.
Absolutely.
When you have a guy back there that you trust, that is going to come up big for you and just make some of these crazy saves. I mean, he stood on his head this match, man.
100%.
I think his player rating was almost a 9.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane for a goalkeeper, right?
Yeah, imagine if we had him last year in those games where McMath made those crucial mistakes to cost us points. I haven't seen Cabral do any of that.
He's been close. But you know what? Like, as much guff as we gave McMath, he's a good goalkeeper. He's a shot stopper. But Cabral is just the next level. And a lot of that is his footwork and his distribution. That's just the step up from the shot stopper, right?
Right.
Love it. I love it. I wish he wasn't older. I really do.
I would agree. Because who knows? I mean, who knows how long he's got, man. And I think that's actually something he brought up last night too. Is he wasn't shy about his age, and he said, "Look, as long as I feel the way that I feel right now, I'm going to give it my 100%." And when the future comes, the future comes. But right now, I'm focused on the now, and I'm focused on winning.
Yeah, I really hope selfishly we have him, like, he's fit and good to go the rest of this season, and yeah. I hope next season. If we can get 2 years of this, I'll be so happy.
Currently, the Iron Man has played every single minute of the season so far.
Yeah, and he's deserved to.
Yeah.
But next up, yes, Eagle Mountain, Utah, Gozo, bro. We've talked about him. We've talked about him a lot already, but
he's not from West Valley, as the commentators keep saying. He was born in West Valley, but he was raised in Eagle Mountain. Like, I hope they get that right next time.
He's from Utah, man.
Struck a nerve there with Carson. It's all the same. It's all Utah native.
Either way, having 2 Utah natives on the pitch is really cool, and I absolutely love it. And having one in particular that the sky is the absolute limit right now, He's a young kid, right? It's just so cool. I can't wait to see what the future holds for him, man.
I'm going to be honest. I thought he started the game a little rough. I thought the defenders were doing a really good job of clamping him down.
Yeah, they were playing him very physical.
Extremely physical. And so I think the thing that stood out the most to me from Gozo, just, other than the fact that he almost had a couple of goals there, it's the fact that as an 18-year-old, getting your first real true minutes in this league, you didn't back down from the fight.
Nope.
You took the fight to that Portland defender. And that's exactly what you want to see. Right? Got off to a rough start. Defenders were playing him really well. And you responded to it appropriately.
Yep. You didn't lash out. You didn't put in a crazy tackle.
Huge maturity.
You adjusted, and it's
Absolutely.
incredible.
He's very calm. He keeps his nerves in check, and like one time he just like his cross got blocked, and he showed a little bit of frustration, but he put his head back down and kept working. And Alex said he did get clamped up a little bit in the first half, but as everyone's legs started to get a little tired in the second half, that's when he came up big. He's a cardio machine, and he can run for days, and he was making the defenders pay with his speed.
When he finally does bag a goal, does he immediately get the nickname Goalzo?
I feel like there could be better.
It's too easy.
That is too easy, but
it's a little corny.
Oh, it's so cornball, but
let's come up with something better.
We're in Utah. We love cornball.
I guess so.
Sorry. Before we move on, we had Gomez, so
I guess that's true.
like really.
And I'm glad that didn't catch on with Andres Gomez.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. 59th minute, Dominic checks in, Barrea checks in, 78th. Pablo Ruiz, still missing Johnny.
Yeah, I was really sad to not see the Johnny Russell debut.
No sign of Johnny Russell.
Yeah, no sign of Johnny Russell. Bummer for everyone. I think in this match in particular, we could have used that experience going forward. I'm really hoping we see him get maybe a start in Colorado. I think he's going to score the game winner against Colorado and become an instant legend in Salt Lake City.
Hey-yo!
I'm putting that out there. Put
it in the banner.
Script writers are on it, and that's why we didn't see him, because they want him getting his debut and goal against our bitter rivals, coming from another bitter rival. The story can't be told any better.
I need to see the banter, bro. I need it. I need that in my life right now. I need that.
That would be picture perfect.
So let's all put that out there. No pressure. Johnny, if you're listening, I know you're a huge fan. You've been listening for years because you've been playing here for years. No pressure. Just please make that happen, script writers. I can't tell you how perfect that would be. Mind would be blown. So that's what's going to happen, guys.
Taking a look ahead. Well, I guess before we move on, any last thoughts about the Portland game?
My only last thought is I genuinely feel bad for Ari Peel.
Dude, what happened to him?
To me, I don't blame Ari Peel at all.
No,
I blame the circumstance,
and I don't either. But
the circumstance is terrible for him.
There's been a significant drop off, as we've mentioned before, from the energy and just what he brought before the red card to now.
He's
incredible. A completely different guy.
It's incredible what an undeserved, because I will die on the hill that his red card was undeserved.
Yeah.
It's wild what that can do to a young player. And you can see it, man. It's unfair that he's being asked to be a regular starter right now, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like he was never meant to be that, right? He still needs time. But yeah, I really hope he can find his form, man, because you see flashes, you see glimpses, but the situation is just, it's unfortunate, in my opinion. But that's all I have there.
I think that's fair. I kind of feel bad for him as well. You know, this young kid coming to the United States from Australia. He probably wasn't. He probably like loves that he's getting playing time. You know, any kid would like it that they're getting playing time. But now he's probably being thrown. He's being thrown into a situation where he's being relied on to score goals.
Yeah.
While he's still warming up to a whole new country, even like environment and league at the same time, and new teammates, like everything.
Right.
That's a lot of pressure for a young kid that really didn't have a lot of professional minutes before he came to Real.
I was just about to say, this isn't a knock to the Australian league or anything, but there's a difference between, you know, getting 400 and whatever many minutes it was in the Australian league, you know, the season before, to coming and being asked to be the starter in a Major League Soccer club. Not only that, but to have the pressure of being the goal scorer.
And half the time, the only striker in the 18.
Yeah, man, it's a lot. I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit. I do. I think it's super unfortunate that he's just not the same kid he was prior to that red card, and I hope that we find that guy back, because I loved his performance against Seattle, man.
Oh, it was incredible. I think all of us after that performance against Seattle are like, okay, we have something here. Like this is good.
And that San Diego game where he scored.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he'll come good, right? Time fixes everything. Most everything.
What about Jesus Barrera? You know, everyone's asking for like Johnny Russell to start at striker and like someone else to start at striker. Like Jesus Barrera's fit now. Like, do we keep trying to give him a chance, or is it time to like, you know?
It's definitely not time to give up on him.
Yeah,
but I don't think striker's his role.
Yeah,
he has a lot of 10 traits. You know,
Yep.
He's got a lot of playmaking traits and playmaking abilities. I know he played 9 a lot in college, but again, the similar conversation to what we were just having with Ari. It's a different level.
Yeah, it's no different. Like Gozo is some of these younger guys that have come in and done a job and are excelling. That's not going to happen for everybody,
right?
And you have to give them time. So would I like to continue to see him come off the bench? Absolutely. Do I think we need to be starting him and putting all that pressure on him? No, not at all.
No, that pressure is for Willie.
Yep, and then whoever the Millers gift us in the summer.
Yeah.
But my other hot take before we move on, before this season is over, Gozo will be our Jaden Nielsen.
Hell
They're
yeah.
very, very similar profiles, man. Technical, fast.
Gozo just needs to work on his passing. He's a perfect player. He's a perfect winger.
He's still got a lot to go, I feel like, in the shooting department, too.
Yeah, kind of timing, right? There were some unfortunate, like, not touches by him, but little pieces of the ball that the Portland player was able to get on that interfered with a lot of his attempts yesterday. But I'm telling you, man, he has that profile.
I would agree. Decision making can also be worked on with him.
He's 18.
But yes, that's exactly what I was about to say. He's 18. I don't anticipate him, again, just like we're talking with Ari and Barea, I don't anticipate him to take on the burden of being our guy. He's 18. Let's allow him to kind of find that rhythm himself.
Let's enjoy what he's doing.
Exactly.
Let's enjoy what he's doing.
Colorado. It's a rivalry game. Rivalry week in Major League Soccer. Heading down to Little Brother. Can we still call him Little Brother?
Dude, they've only taken the Rocky Mountain Cup for 1 year. We absolutely can.
All right. We're heading down to the other side of the Rockies, the not so fun side of the Rocky Mountains, to take on Colorado. Just like we talked about with FC Dallas being a must-win, we're going into a must-win, Josh.
This is a must-win for multiple reasons. They're just above you in the table, and I hate you.
It's short, sweet, and nice. Great way to put it.
This is a game that the fans need you to win more than anything. You know what I mean? This is a game that every single fan out there, every season ticket holder, they circle this on the calendar. They plan their away trip. It's a must win. That Rocky Mountain Cup needs to come home where it belongs. And Johnny Russell is going to give us leg one.
I think, after last year's disappointment of the way the season ended, the elimination in the first round, I think one of the things that really stung I feel like for the fan base and for social, like what I was seeing online on social media, was the fact that you didn't retain the Rocky Mountain Cup, was the fact that Colorado was a better team than you last season, when on paper they really shouldn't have been.
Yeah, it's something that, like, it's hard to say, like, that can't be tolerated, but that can't be tolerated.
Yeah.
Like, for me, Colorado is, I'm going to go off on Colorado. They're a joke of an organization in my eyes. They are. Their owners really don't care about them. They seem to have found some kind of rhythm that isn't absolute garbage. And their stadium's dreadful. Their colors are dreadful. Everything about them is dreadful. I'm glad Pablo left. I'm glad he's here now. I'm glad we got Beckerman, saved him. I'm glad we saved Winger. I'm glad we saved Borchers. I wish we could save more. Honestly, I despise the Colorado Rapids, and I hope we handle business.
Give us Cole Bassett, man.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I'm trying to save him. I want to save Cole Bassett.
He doesn't need to be saved. He doesn't need to be saved.
Mihalovic?
No? That could be interesting on this RSL roster, actually.
He's an MLS journeyman, and so, another move to another team wouldn't be that big of a deal.
And I think he fits better with this current setup we have, but I don't want any of them. I don't know that there's a single player that currently plays for Colorado that I would enjoy taking.
I would have taken Bombito last year, but he went off to Europe.
Yeah, because he was awesome. He was good. I would have taken him too.
Yeah. He's a beast.
I'm glad he left.
Would you take their striker? What's his name?
Rafa Navarro.
Yeah, would you take him?
No, I'm good.
No.
I'm good. He's good. He's not DP good.
He's fine. He's fine.
He's Willie Agata good. How about that?
Yeah. Yep.
I put them on the same level.
Predictions?
I think RSL is going to figure out a way to pull it out, man. This is a team right now I think is in desperate need of 3 points. Like I said, it feels like a must-win considering what happened last season against Colorado. You lost the Rocky Mountain Cup. You kind of need it back.
In dramatic fashion, too. Those were some of the wildest games we've seen.
They were, man. That 5-3 at home. I'm never going to forget that game.
I cried.
The comeback, insane.
Yeah. What's your score? Who's scoring?
You know what, man? I'm going 2-1, and I'm gonna go Russell just because I'm gonna put it out there with you. Johnny Russell's scoring, and he's scoring the winner.
Let's throw the entire timeline off. I'll go 2-1 with you, but it's gonna be Diogo and Johnny Russell scoring goals.
There you go.
Let's just throw it all off.
Carson?
I'm gonna say 1-0 RSL, and I'm gonna say Catranas goal.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what, man? Catranas is due for one.
Yeah.
He is due for one. He had a good shot against Portland.
I thought that was Junkwa.
Junka also had one.
I need to see Catranas and Johnny Russell on the same field, and like there's an altercation on the field, and Johnny Russell and Catranas are like the first two guys to it.
Oh yeah,
that would be freaking so cool.
And if Johnny's playing on the left in front of Alex, dude, that just feels dangerous.
Yeah,
I'd love to see it, man. I hope that he's fit enough to make it on, even if it is for 10. I understand, the precautions. I understand he hasn't played a game since, what did he say, Josh? October?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
I hope that he is ready to roll because I feel like this is a game where he can come in and really make an impact, right? He's played Colorado how many times?
This is the prime opportunity to make everyone forget that you are the captain of Sporting Kansas City.
There you go. Real quick, Bruce Arena, Lionel Messi.
Yeah, what
How about
a champ, man.
How about good old Bruce stopping Messi from getting sent off against San Jose?
Messi, not worth it, man. Walk away, Messi. Not worth it. I know you might be tired and you need a break, man, but it's not worth it, man.
Dude, the Messi frenzy in San Jose this past week was insane.
It's unbelievable.
I don't know if it's just because I follow more San Jose people or what the deal was, but I was seeing videos of Messi mania all week long, and it got kind of crazy.
Did you see
out there.
the one of him up on his balcony in the hotel?
Yeah, man,
freaking ridiculous,
wild.
That's insane to me.
I could not handle being that famous.
I would lose it.
Can you imagine going anywhere and you literally can't go anywhere?
Yeah.
It would be horrible. You genuinely kind of have to feel bad for the guy. And that's going to carry on his entire life. He's going to be 80 years old and that's still going to happen.
That's insane, dude.
I hope he can buy himself a private island or something, dude, and just disappear.
I bet Argentina could do something for him.
I wonder what Messi does when he retires, man. That's actually a great question.
I have a hard time picturing him coaching.
That's the thing. I don't see him coaching.
I have a hard time picturing him being a pundit.
Oh, he would never. He hates the media.
Right? So I hate the media. We're the media. I hate us too.
Probably just mentor his kids to be soccer players.
I mean, with how busy he's been, right, in this life he's lived.
Yeah, dude.
I wouldn't put it past him to just
step away
and be out of the limelight.
Wild. Anything else we want to add, put out there, say, and throw into the universe before we wrap this one up, guys?
With everything going on, I still love this team. As frustrated as I may get. RSL till I die, bros.
Carson?
I'm here for the vibes, and I just want to win.
There you go.
Simple as that. I just want 3 points, and let's just not be worse than LA Galaxy.
You know what? How badly would the wheels have to fall off for that to happen? How many injuries would we have to suffer?
I think you'd have to lose your engine room.
I think Ojeda and Emeka.
Ojeda and Emeka.
Yeah. And Luna. I mean, yeah. Yep. I don't know.
If you lose that midfield triangle, we're in that situation.
Yeah, we're in a bad spot.
Yeah. And that's going to do it for us here on the RSL Show. Don't forget to go like. Don't forget to go subscribe. Don't forget to go do what you have to do to follow the RSL Show for the best RSL content. We really hope that we're talking guys next week following 3 gigantic points on the road after this Colorado Rapids match.